Hello, and welcome to STOA Speech Judge Orientation. Our goals today are to introduce ourselves and to better equip you as a STOA speech judge. STOA trains Christian homeschooled youth in speech and debate in order to better communicate a biblical worldview. Our STOA competitors are homeschooled students between 12 and 18 years of age. Each tournament may have competitors from multiple states. Each of those competitors may compete in multiple events. And they are all here to develop their communication skills and build friendships along the way. The greatest objection we hear from our judges is that they feel unqualified. Our response: you can do this. This training, along with our ballots, is designed to give you the tools you need to be better prepared to judge. Please be responsive. As the audience for each of these competitors, you are a source of encouragement. You do not need to be expressionless. Feel free to nod, smile, and laugh. The more you respond, the better they will perform. We do ask our judges to set aside any personal bias and expertise. While you may be an expert in a given field, please don't judge a competitor's speech on your knowledge, but on the research they present. While we encourage you to be friendly and greet each competitor, there should be no discussion with speakers about their presentations. Multiple judges are likely to be in each room. However, judges should not consult with one another. We want the opinion of each individual, not a collaborative decision. Please sit at the assigned judge table and remember to turn off your cell phone. If you require anything, tournament staff will assist with missing ballots, room issues, or any other needs. When you receive your ballots, you will be notified if we need you to be the head judge. The head judge will supervise the digital timepiece. Since the competitors need to monitor their speaking time, please turn the room timepiece toward the competitor. Be sure the competitor can see it well. Further instructions for timing are in the rules for each event. Be sure to wait for all judges before starting the round. If you're not sure how many judges are slated for that round, just ask the tournament staff to verify. Stay in your room until every competitor has presented. Please take care of phone calls, visit the restrooms, or grab some water before getting to your room. Competitors may speak out of the order listed on your ranking sheet, as they sometimes compete in multiple events. If you wait for more than 15 minutes for a competitor to arrive, please contact a tournament staff member for assistance. Audience members may come and go between speakers. And finally, trust your natural communication instincts. It's worth repeating. You really can do this. Here are the speech events that may be offered at a STOA tournament to give you a better understanding of what you will be asked to judge. All events have a maximum time limit, but there is no minimum time requirement. First, we have the platform events. These events are probably what most people think of as public speaking. All of these events are prepared speeches written by the competitor. Each speech must be memorized. Original oratory is an informative speech. Its purpose is to explain, inspire, or expose the topic. Persuasive speeches advocate a specific position or course of action. Expository is the one platform event that uses visuals and props. In this event, the speaker should constructively use the chosen media to enhance the topic. These speeches may be informative or persuasive. Next, we have the interpretive events. In these events, competitors bring the story to life through creative use of voice and movement, without the use of costumes or props. Competitors must identify the author and title of the piece they have selected, and each presentation must be memorized. For interpretation events, competitors should portray a realistic, emotional journey of one or more characters. The selection should have a diversity of emotion while having an overall feeling of being either a serious or humorous story. Using a single literary source, dramatic interpretation should be generally serious, but not necessarily tragic, whereas humorous should be generally lighthearted within the spectrum of humor in the selected story, but should not be stand-up comedy. Open and duo interpretation may be either serious or lighthearted and may use multiple literary sources. Additionally, an open interpretation may take a variety of forms, such as a monologue, narrative storytelling, and may also be an original work written by the student. It is open for the student to decide what type of selection to present. A duo interpretation will showcase two students delivering one story while balancing the presentation. Partners are not allowed to make direct eye contact or touch, so they must be creative to convey the characters talking to each other and physically interacting. You may judge a limited preparation event. In these events, competitors get a limited time to prepare a speech on a topic that is given to them at the beginning of each round. These speeches must not be prepared before the round begins. The judges will be provided a copy of the topics or questions. A head judge will supervise the digital timepiece. In extemporaneous speaking, the competitor gives a speech answering a current event question. The competitors are given 30 minutes of prep time in a separate room and will present every 10 minutes for this 7-minute speech. Competitors may use one 3x5 card and their printed topic during the presentation. Because the speakers are preparing in a separate room and have assigned speaking times and order from which they may not deviate, we need judges to be in the competition room before the first speaking time, even if the rest of the tournament is running late. Please adhere to the speaking schedule, even if there is little time to write on the ballots between speakers. You will have time at the end of the round to make additional comments on each student ballot. Mars Hill Impromptu uses books, movies, and other genre to identify truths common to human experience. These universal truths are then used to illustrate and advocate for biblical truth. The tournament staff will assign one of 7 categories for each round. The competitors are given 4 minutes in the competition room to prepare for this speech. As each speaker arrives, they will draw 3 topics and select one for their speech. The remaining topics will be returned prior to leaving the room. Preparation may be with a notebook of research each competitor brings, and speakers may use one note card and their printed topic during the presentation. The speech should illustrate common human experiences by highlighting the appeal to our culture. In demonstrating the significance of the chosen subject, the speaker should assume the audience is not familiar with the Bible. This speech should initiate thought-provoking conversation with a more casual style of speaking. Apologetics is a reasonable defense of the truthfulness of Christianity. In STOA, there are 100 possible questions in 6 different categories. Speakers have 4 minutes in the competition room to prepare this speech. As in Mars Hill Impromptu, each speaker will draw 3 topics and select one to research. The remaining topics will be returned prior to leaving the room. Competitors may prepare with a card file and a Bible. However, only note cards and the printed topic are allowed during the presentation. Before considering a ballot for apologetics, please read through our STOA Statement of Faith. If you are able to affirm these statements, then please feel free to request an apologetics ballot from our ballot administration. If you are unable to affirm these statements, we request that you consider judging one of our other speech event categories. A copy will be available at the end of the slides. The speaker should craft the speech in an informative and persuasive manner, using scripture and outside sources as appropriate for the chosen topic. The goal of apologetics is to communicate a thoughtful and intellectual analysis of a question of faith or theological truth to others. Apologetics may or may not be an evangelistic opportunity, but needs to answer the selected topic. In apologetics, content is key. Please give more weight to the content of these speeches than the presentation style. STOA offers 2 wildcard events that run for 2-year terms. First, we have cold reading. In this event, the competitor will be given 1 piece of literature and 3 minutes for preparation in the competition room. The focus is the intent of the selection, as well as voice presentation. Unlike all of the other speech events, there is no presentation time limit in cold reading. Our second wildcard event is demonstration speech. Differing from expository speaking, this speech explains how to do something or how something works. Competitors may use props and visuals. While this speech is written by the competitor, the speaker may deviate in minor ways from the script in order to connect with the audience. The speech has a 7-minute maximum time limit. Judges will be given 2 types of ballots. Please check all names on your tabulation ballot for possible conflicts. At each tournament, you may judge a speech event only once, unless otherwise instructed by tournament leadership. You may judge a competitor in multiple events. Each of the 2 ballots has a different purpose. The student ballot is to evaluate and to educate each individual. The speaker receives this ballot at the end of the tournament. The tabulation ballot simply shows how you ranked the speakers in the room from first to last. The speakers do not see this ballot. When filling out the student ballot, please use black or blue ink. Copy the speaker name, room number, and tournament round from the tabulation ballot. And of course, fill in your own name as the judge. There is a line here to jot down the topic. Duration is the length of the speech. This time will be shared from the official timepiece at the end of each presentation. Each event will note the maximum time limit, and there are no minimum time limits. Once you have seen a presentation, please rate the student's performance on each ballot based on each criterion in the Evaluate Scale column. This is a basic scale indicating how the competitor measured up to your expectations. The numbers are not used by the tournament to determine points or rank. Please note any penalties in this section and see staff at ballot return for help with penalties. Use the comments section to report what you saw in each presentation. This is where you can educate the student on what worked and what didn't work well for you. To give time for notes, judges may set 2 minutes between speakers for platforms and interpretive events. Limited preparation events must use next student's prep time for comments. In extemporaneous speaking, the competitors have assigned speaking times and a pre-established order from which they may not deviate. Judges may use any available time between speakers to fill out ballots. Jot down initial feedback. You have plenty of time in the judges' room later to finish your ballot comments and evaluation. The ranking can often be a challenge for judges. It can be so hard to decide first place when everyone seems so good. To make this job relatively easy, we suggest stacking ballots to order speakers. Please stack assuming there are no penalties, even if there are penalties. Here's how it's done. Mark Twain is going to come into your room, and he gives a stellar presentation. He's got to be first. Actually, he really is, since he is the only competitor you have seen. So Mark's ballot gets placed first in your stack. The second speaker is Ben Franklin. Wow, he's excellent too. But he's not quite as exceptional as Mark, so he slides into second place. I'm sure you see where this is going. Third, Marie Curie comes into the room. She's also not quite as compelling as Mark, but she did communicate a little better than Ben. So she slides into second place, moving Ben down to third position. This method is helpful in establishing your speaker rankings. Just be sure not to drop your papers. Review all of the criteria, making sure you are satisfied with how you have stacked your ballots. Now you are ready to complete your tabulation ballot. Order the speakers from first to last. If you did find a penalty, notate it here, and see ballot return for help with re-ranking. If there are no penalties, just carry the numbers forward to final rank column. Remember, there can be no ties. Now that you have completed the ranking of the room, it is time to further educate the individual speakers. Complete any comments on your student ballots. Just share your observations. Tell them at least one thing they did well and one thing needing improvement. Please don't underestimate the impact this will have on each competitor. They really do crave constructive criticism to improve their skills. At the bottom of the student ballot, circle the individual rank for each student. For ranks 5 through last, circle the phrase 5th and below. So, while the tabulation ballot must have unique numbers for 1st through 8th place, each student ballot will be marked 1st through 4th. And for students ranking 5th through last place, you will circle the complete phrase 5th and below. Finally, give the students a reason for their ranking compared to others in the room. The students are looking for what they could do to move up a rank in your evaluation. Your comments are truly valuable to them. After you have heard all of the speakers, please go directly to the ballot return room. Remember, we ask that you do not confer with others. We want your unique observations. If you have any questions, ask the orientation staff located near ballot return. Once your ballots are complete, please submit them to ballot return and wait for them to be reviewed. We would love for you to judge again. Remember, you may only judge each speech event one time per tournament. We want to thank you for volunteering your time to judge at this STOA competition. The service you are providing is a great benefit to developing the speaking skills of these young minds, and we hope that you enjoy your experience.